All right, thanks for joining us on the call tonight. I am so excited, not only because you are going to hear from some incredible leaders, but because the content, I got a sneak peek at the content of tonight's call, and it's amazing. This information is going to be so helpful. Tonight we're talking about how to overcome difficulties in your business, and you're going to hear from some incredible leaders. So to start us off tonight, I want to introduce Sapphire Ambassador Amy Welch. So Amy, go ahead and take it away.
Thank you. But Hillary, let's introduce you first.
Oh, yes. My bad.
Yeah. I'm
Hillary. Hillary Heinrichs. I don't usually do the introductions.
So thank you guys. You know, one thing that I have learned on my journey, I came up with like 10 lessons learned, and hitting Emerald for me was kind of a big eye-opener. And I've heard a lot of other people say that, but what does that mean? So what I have come up with are these 10 lessons learned, both good and bad. And then the rest of the leaders are going to kind of elaborate on those and give you some things you can do to actually put these things into practice. You know, one thing I want to say, though, is the great thing about network marketing and this business is that we all run our business however we see fit, and we run our business based on our own strengths. However, given that, there are some best practices out there that we know regardless work. So a lot of these things that I'm going to talk about are some of those things that, you know, maybe I've learned from my upline on my journey that's worked for them and has worked for me. So the first lesson learned that kind of hit me at Emerald is duplication. I know certainly that we're always going to know more now, where we are in our journey right now, than we did at the beginning. But the sooner you can figure out your duplication for your team, the better. It has to be effective and simple. And that's really hard. Especially, it's hard to figure out what kind of information to give to people, because we have so much information that we think new ambassadors need. And the sooner you can get that system down, the better. It doesn't mean you can't change it later. But I wish I had started doing those 3-way phone calls back when I was not even a silver ambassador. I just think that could have set so many more people up for their expectations and their better success for duplication on their Plexus journey, whether they're a wholesaler or in it for the business. So the sooner you can figure that out, the better. It's harder now. You know, I probably have 80 level ones. They're not all active. But I just, when I'm on with my leaders, I feel like, oh man, I wish I could go back and like redo my duplication, you know, with you guys, because we've all learned so much. So take that kind of to heart and listen to maybe some other leaders on what type of duplication has worked for them, and get that started immediately. Don't wait until you have the perfect duplication system, because we're never going to have the perfect duplication system. The second one, and this is probably the most important lesson that for me, you have to be bold in both your belief for the company, your belief in the products, and your belief in the business. You cannot waver. This is probably the most important thing, I think, for my journey that's helped me overcome all obstacles. Because when you are bold in your belief in all three of those things, nobody can knock you down. I don't care if they come to you and say it's a scam. I don't care if they give you heck because it's not FDA approved. I don't care if they come and say it's a pyramid scheme, it's too expensive. No matter what, if you have the belief in those three things, you're not going to waver and you're not going to fall. The way you do that, though, is to continually kind of pour into your own personal development. For me, opportunity meetings were huge, and these types of calls. I never missed a call or an opportunity meeting. Now, opportunity meetings, I've not once in a year had a potential come. Not one time have I had a potential come to an opportunity meeting. but I still go, and that's probably built my belief more than anything. I always learn something new, like when Sarah Taylor or Jamie Mays would go over the product information, and I always would have that belief just strengthen when I would hear the testimonies of other ambassadors. So you have to have that belief. Even now, oh my gosh, when October apocalypse happened with the new back office, if we did not have the belief in Plexus as a company, everyone here, we would be gone. You have to have that unshakable belief. Plexus always has our best interests in heart. We know this. I know shipping has been hard. I know it's been frustrating. But when you have that belief, it's not going to matter. And I can tell you, many leaders on the team have not lost any customers over the shipping. And I would say that a lot of that is in how they portray the issues. And they even know, listen, guys, I get it. I am frustrated. I want to throw the phone through the wall. I am on the Emerald line all day long helping get this stuff figured out. But I never project that frustration to where my customers or anybody else sees it. And so it's that unshakable belief that really is going to carry you. The third lesson, when I was looking back on my journey, is be consistent and persistent. Now, I'll tell you guys, this is in your own journey as far as just taking your products, but also in your business. And I'm going to tell you guys, in the beginning, probably even after I hit gold, there were a few times where my belief wasn't as strong as it is now, because that's certainly going to come the longer you're doing this. But there were a few times where somebody would say, you know, I took my first pink drink and I got the flu. It's got to be Plexus. Or, you know, something crazy like that. And a part of me would think, oh, man, okay, maybe I'm not sure about these products. Or maybe I would gain a pound and I'd be like, oh, maybe this stuff, maybe it isn't working. But you know what? I was consistent and I was persistent and I knew better. I was consistent in the use of my products, but I was also consistent in my business. I never missed a day of posting on Facebook. Not one time. Not when I was in Jamaica. Not when I had thyroid surgery. Not when I'm at home on Christmas break with my family. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm sacrificing those times and I'm the person like in the hospital on my phone, right? I'm not saying that. But you can work smarter. You can set up that Hootsuite so it's posting for you. Posts don't always have to be wonderful and very written great. They can be as simple, oh my gosh, I'm thankful I had my pink drink today, right? So be consistent. Do not let vacation or kids or your day jobs be an excuse. I worked full time. I know it's different now. My journey now since the summer is different because Plexus is a full-time thing. But remember, in the beginning, up until I hit, I think it was Ruby or Senior Ruby, I was working full-time with an hour commute. So I know how crazy it is and how you feel like Plexus can consume you. So my other lesson learned, and a lot of people have probably heard me say this way too much, it's fake it until you make it. And so you don't always have to be on top of your Plexus game. You don't always have to have the best post, but put something out there. Just fake it until you make it. You may be frustrated with shipping, but you're going to put on a smile and you're going to fake it until you make it, right? And so that's one of my lessons learned. The other thing is, you know, people want to join and purchase from somebody that is fun and positive and excited all the time and knows the products. That's kind of the image you have to portray. And unless you're consistent putting that out every day, they're not going to see it. The other big eye-opening for me at Emerald was building your team of leaders. That's huge because you make a big leap from just recruiting, and now all of a sudden you have leaders on your team that you want to help rank as well. And it really is about developing them as leaders and not enabling them. And that's hard. It's hard a lot of times. You know, people may not see themselves as a leader, but everyone on this call is a leader. I know Amber's going to talk a lot about that, so I don't want to step on any of her great advice. But you also want to lead your team. because they are watching every step you make. Even if you have only 20 people on your team, and let's say you have a team page and it's not very active, you still, as the leader, you want to keep posting, you want to do calls, you want to make videos for them, you want to build those relationships because your team's going to follow your lead. There were many times when I thought, oh man, my team has lost its momentum. It's gone. We're not adding anybody. We're losing people. And the only way I could ever turn that around was to focus on me and think, okay, Amy, you're not posting as often as you could be. You're not getting the excitement on the team page. You're not commenting. You're not doing messages with people as often as you were, building those relationships on your team, checking in with people, helping them with their goals. A lot of people spend a lot of time waiting to find the rock star. Who is the rock star on their team that's going to take them to the next rank? And that's a mistake. You want to be the rock star that you're looking for, and I promise you others will follow. You have to get over being afraid of no. And I'm going to wrap this up just a minute. Sorry. You have to get over being afraid of hearing no. You have to. You just have to. And this is where you can fake it until you make it. Even if it makes you hurt inside, you cannot stop posting. You cannot stop following up. You cannot stop reaching out to people. Because if any of us did that, none of us would be here. I mean, I myself said no several times to Sarah Taylor. If she were on the call, she would tell you, I even told her not to add me to the team page once I joined for the discount. And I was a butthead about it. Had she wavered in her belief and her duplication, I probably wouldn't be here. So do not be afraid of no. Get off the roller coaster, because this business certainly has lows. I have family members who think I'm crazy. I have people who've tried it and, said it doesn't work and got their money back. You've got to keep going and stay even keeled and not get off the roller coaster. 2 other quick ones. Start a list. From day one, I wish I'd have started a list, because you will forget people. I even have notebooks and everything, but I still, up through Emerald, was not good about every time somebody liked or commented, write their name down. Anytime they told me no, write their name down. And you know what? Messenger, you know how many threads we're in and how many messages they get? I've lost people. They are gone forever, and I can't remember who they are. For all I know, they've signed up with somebody else. So always write their name down. And then the other thing is, if you can now figure out what your daily method of operation is and focus on your IPAs, your income producing activity, make that a habit. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect or permanent, right? It can change. Every day can be different. But you have to figure out kind of that balance, or else you will be consumed by plexus and feel like you can never get your head above water. And you also need to figure out now what you're willing to sacrifice to pay off later. Are you willing to sacrifice 30 minutes of sleep every other day? Are you willing to sacrifice an hour on Saturday morning for plexus? Are you willing to sacrifice TV time every night to work your plexus business? And so the sooner you can figure that out, and even have discussions with your family, your spouse, whoever's in your life, because the sooner you can figure that out, the better, because it's not going to get easier as your team gets bigger. So you really want to figure that out now. So thank you, guys. Those are my 10 lessons learned.
I love that. Holy cow. I learned like all 10 of those as you were talking. Thank you so much, Amy. Up next, we're going to hear from Ashley Marcel. Ashley, are you ready?
I am ready.
Take it away, girl.
I'm a little bummed that I'm going after Amy. Hopefully I live up to everything that she just did. I picked to go after her too. Why did I do that? Hey guys, my name's Ashley Marcel. I'm a Senior Ruby Ambassador. A little tiny bit of background on me real quick. I started 2 years ago. Actually, this weekend will be my 2-year Flexiversary. I'm a full-time working mom of 2 and also actively working my business. So I have a lot of the same kind of things going on that Amy did back before she was able to quit her job. So what I kind of wanted to go over with you guys is leadership responsibilities, talking about why leadership is important, go over some qualities of a good leader, some responsibilities themselves, and then talk a little bit about developing yourself as a leader and also developing those around you as a leader as well, because that's really, really important. So leadership is really all about setting the foundation of your business. Smooth sailing throughout your business, that's when things are going to be really easy, but it's not always going to be like that. There are going to be rough waters ahead. There's going to be some trying times, and having this solid foundation set is what's going to help you navigate through those troublesome times and help you get to where your next destination is supposed to be. So something that I wanted to start out with, I thought about defining leadership, but I feel like you guys kind of already have a good handle on that. So I wanted to read a quote from John C. Maxwell, who's one of my favorite authors on the subject of leadership. But it says, leadership is not about titles, positions, or flowcharts. It's about one life influencing another. And I totally 100% agree with that. Leadership really is all about influence and, being able to influence people to follow you, to buy into what you're saying, to buy into your vision, and to lead them to their goals and whatever it is that they may want to accomplish. So a couple of things, why is leadership important? Obviously, it's vital for the success of your team. They have to have a good leader, and it's up to you to be that leader for them. Without leadership, everything's going to go stagnant. People are going to lose their way. They may even, people may even drop off. They may quit. They may give up if they don't have that solid leader there. It's up to you to provide that direction. And sorry, my cat is meowing in the background. This is great. He's going to distract me. But it's up to you to provide that direction and keep moving towards that goal. I like the saying that more is caught rather than taught. So they're really going to be looking for someone to not only teach them what they need to do and where they need to go, but how to do it. So they're going to look up to you and watch you more than they may actually be listening to you. So some responsibilities of leadership. This is by no means all. This could be a 2-hour call if we wanted to really get into the nitty-gritty there. But I wrote down a few that I really wanted to talk about. The first is leading by example. I just mentioned more is caught rather than taught. But your team is going to be looking up to you. They're going to watch what you're doing, and they're going to want to do what it is that you're doing. So like Amy had said before, be your own rock star. Don't go out and look for someone else to be that rock star for you. Be the rock star on your team because they are watching you and they're going to see what you're doing. I had originally written down, give them something to aspire to. And then I actually crossed that out and I wrote instead, be something, be someone that they will aspire to be. As long as you continue growing, they will grow as well. Something else is focusing on the long term. Obviously, as a leader, you're going to need to focus on the here and now, but you always need to have an eye looking ahead. Kind of like anyone, as a leader can steer a ship, but you also need to be a good navigator. You need to be looking into the future and trying to anticipate your team's needs. And also, looking into the future to see if there may be something coming up, some rough waters ahead that you might need to navigate around. So making sure that you're not just living in the present, but looking towards the future as well. Asking questions. This kind of goes into empowerment a little bit, but it's really important that, and Amy had mentioned this as well, but it's really important that when your team comes to you with problems, don't just fix it for them. Don't try to slap a Band-Aid on something. Start asking them questions. Get them engaged in it. Empower them to get a little bit of self-reflection there. If they come to you because they feel like something that they're doing isn't working, ask them why. Why do you think this isn't working? How do you think this can be fixed? What can we do to make this better? Rather than just telling them, okay, here's what you need to do. Because the more that you get them thinking about things, the more that they're going to start kind of taking those things on as their own. And a phrase that I really like is fail forward. And not saying that anybody's failing, but using things as a learning experience. So if something's not working, don't get upset and quit and get derailed. Instead, try and learn from that and move forward from it. And then also listening. All good leaders listen. Something that you have to do for your team. Whether it's, listening to their concerns or asking for, advice from them. What is it that you need from me? What do you need from me as a leader? But always making sure that you're listening to them and they have your ear. Creating and maintaining momentum. This is a really kind of can be a tough one because creating momentum can be a bit hard. So once momentum has been created, being able to hold on to it is a little bit easier. But this not only goes for your team as a whole, but also individuals. And this was something that I kind of had to learn the hard way. When you have someone who starts and they've got a lot of momentum, they're moving forward, you cannot say, okay, let's get on a three-way call in a couple of weeks. You have to do it right then. You have to take control and really help steer that momentum and maintain that momentum for that person and for your team as well. An analogy that I like is that there is 1 degree difference between really hot water and boiling water. So you need to figure out what that could be, a small thing, but what that small, 1 degree might be to really take things up a notch. Another responsibility is to be plexus, be committed. Never waver in your support and your belief in the company and the products and what you're doing, and avoiding negativity. Because the moment that your team sees you falling to any negativity, that negativity is going to flow through to them, and it could really derail you guys. So just if they look up to someone and see you maintaining your positivity and not being negative and just being plexus 110%, that's something that they will start to do as well. And then last, knowing that this isn't just about you. As a leader, you actually need to put yourself last to a certain extent. This is about your team. You need to make sure that you're giving them what they need and doing for them what they need. So just always keeping in mind that this is about other people as well, not just about yourself. So those are a few responsibilities. Like I said, there's a ton more, and a few of us will probably reference a book by John C. Maxwell called The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. I definitely recommend that everybody on this call, you're on this call for a reason. If you haven't purchased this book, do so. It's amazing, especially it doesn't matter, where you are in your journey as a leader. It's a really, really great book. But I wanted to talk about a couple of kind of core values for leaders as well. And this is by no means complete either, but these are some things that kind of stuck with me. So one value that a leader may have is belief. And that's not only belief in yourself, but also belief in plexus and belief in your team. And just knowing that you can do this, you have it in you. And being that support for your team as well, making sure that they know that you believe in them 100%. Being constant, meaning kind of obviously constant and consistency and things like that, but being a constant, kind of having mental fortitude and not jumping on a roller coaster. And there are going to be highs and lows for sure, but making sure that, when a customer decides to no longer order, that doesn't derail you. So kind of getting away from the highs and lows of this and jumping off the roller coaster. There's a great video about that if you guys want to look that up too. Having courage to face difficulties without fear. There's a lot of things that come with leadership that made me fearful. Even doing calls like this, I can feel my face is already flushed and I have really red cheeks. Doing things like this make me really nervous. I don't know why. If I was talking to maybe 10 of you in person, I would be fine. But really facing your fears, and being very intentional with that, being deliberate and intentional with everything that you do, but trying to have that courage and know that you're going to be uncomfortable. Things are going to be uncomfortable in leadership, but that's, adversity and things that make you uncomfortable, pushing through those, it's only going to make you stronger. Patience with your business. We're not all going to be Amy Welch over there who went emerald in 8 months. Sorry to call you out, Amy. Some of us might be a Sarah Marble who it took her 6 months to go silver. So having patience and knowing that your journey is your own, and I say this all the time, and if my team members that are on this call, you're probably tired of it, but comparison is the thief of joy. You cannot compare yourself to someone else. Your journey is your own, and everything will happen in your own time. So just making sure to have patience with your business. And that doesn't mean that you can sit back and just assume that things are going to happen for you. You have to work hard, but just know that if you're doing what you need to be doing, that it will happen. But also patience and having and able to endure through tough times. Amy had mentioned, October with the back office, and anyone who was around in October knows that was a really stressful time. And then now dealing with the shipping issues too, but having patience with it and knowing that, you know, our company, they hear us, they don't like this any more than we do, and they will fix it. They are in the process of fixing it, and they always will. They're so wonderful in listening to us, and, you know, anytime we have concerns. So just have that patience and know that it is so frustrating right now, but it will get better. And then optimism. I think this is really, really important. And it's definitely a mindset as well. You have to choose to be optimistic about things. You know, if you let one small thing kind of derail you for the rest of the day, for the rest of the week, that can have a really big impact. So kind of trying to put things into perspective and knowing that things can always be worse is really, really important. And just being optimistic and kind of going back to the patience thing with knowing that things could be worse, things will get better, choose to be happy, choose to be optimistic with everything. So last, to wrap this up really quick, I wanted to talk about developing yourself as a leader and also developing others. I'm going to just give this really brief because I feel like this could be a whole other hour-long conversation as well. But, you know, I mentioned earlier with leadership being the foundation of your business. So you have to take those steps to continue to build on that foundation. Some things that I've loved doing was reading John C. Maxwell books. He's just an amazing author. So that's one thing that I do is I just, you know, buy his books and read those. I watch videos, I listen to speakers, getting on calls with other leaders, developing sideline relationships and discussing strategy. There's so many things that you can do to develop yourself as a leader, but taking that first step is sometimes the hardest, but it's the most important. So, you know, you need talking about developing, you know, leaders outside of you, you kind of have to have that really great foundation before you can bring in other leaders that you're trying to develop. A great analogy is you need the right soil, not just the right seed. So you have to be that good soil. You have to lay that soil before you can get that perfect seed to plant. So really developing the leaders around you is so important, and that's what's going to propel not only your business, but their business forward as well. Really working to empower those people on your team. Empowered people will reach their full potential. There's no doubt about that. And it's your job to help them maximize their potential. And that's going to be different things for different people. It might be some one-on-one training sessions. It might be doing book studies over some leadership books. You know, just kind of working with that person to find out what it is that they need. And you know your team members, they're your friends. So you're going to kind of have a good idea of what it is that they need that will help to empower them. But giving them, you know, additional responsibilities, have them lead team calls, have them make videos to post on your team page to inspire other team members. But really empowering those other individuals will really, really help in the long run, not only for them, but for you as well. And that's all I got. Sorry for the cat in the background, y'all.
No, that was awesome. I love the two analogies that you used, both of the soil and the 1 degree between.
I love analogies.
Boiling water. That's so amazing.
Thing on analogies.
I love that. We're going to do another call on just analogies, for real. Okay. Thank you so much, Ashley. Okay, up next, I want to introduce Amanda Grubb. She's going to be talking to us next. Are you ready, Amanda?
I am.
All right, sweet. Take it away.
Hi, I'm Amanda Grubb. I am a Senior Ruby Ambassador. I'm about to hit Emerald this month, which I'm super excited about. And just to give you guys a little background, if you don't know my background, I joined Plexus in June 2014 and was stubborn as a mule and refused to sell, refused to be involved or attend anything until late December 2014. So I've been doing this a little bit over a year and really kind of missed out on those 6 months, but it was the journey I had to take. I was just being stubborn. So I'm totally patient with the stubborn people, and I understand a lot of stubborn people too. I do have a full-time job. I work full-time. I am a mother of 1 2-year-old daughter and pregnant with a son, about 5 months pregnant. And so yeah, I understand. Ashley and Amber and I have countdowns till we can quit our jobs. My plan was to quit at Emerald, but I'm going to wait out the maternity leave like a good responsible person. So What I'm going to talk about, well, I just talked about my family and fluffy, lovey stuff. I'm going to talk about like tough love stuff. And luckily my portion is going to be a shorter portion, but we all know the reason we started this business. The main reason we started this business is because these products made us feel better or helped someone that we love. That's an emotional tie, and those are important. It's really important to have that emotional tie. But you do have to be able to detach and be your own CEO. Realize that this is a business. Once you add one person to your team or one customer, you've created a business and you're in charge. You are the CEO of that business, and you need to take ownership of that business. There are going to be some things that you're going to hear that are a little repetitive, but I always tell my team, if you're hearing it from a different person, it's the same thing, pay attention. That means it's a big deal. So, talking about being your own CEO, taking responsibility, taking ownership of your business, taking pride in your business, being proud that this is an MLM, that this is network marketing. I know one issue I had right now, I was talking to a girlfriend at work that when I go on maternity leave, they asked if I would have any other income and working any other business. And I thought, oh, well, yeah, but I get income even if I don't work. So what do I do about that? And that was who can say that? Who can say if I choose not to work, I still get an income? So be proud of this business. Be proud that you are the CEO of your own company. That being said, worrying about what people think. Worry can be debilitating. I know I am, or at least I used to be I am still a worrier. If I'm not worrying about something, I will be worrying that I don't have anything to worry about, that something's going to happen, so I have to worry about something. That does you no good. You cannot worry what people think of you. You cannot worry what people are going to say about you. I will tell you from my personal journey, when I started this business and decided to make it a business, I did get some flack from very, very close people that I love. And still, there are sometimes people say, well, hey, you shouldn't say that. And I'll correct them and say, no, you're misunderstanding. I didn't say that, or something like that. You'll still get some kind of kickback. Now I find more people are realizing with my posts, like, gosh, I can't believe you're still doing this. This must really work. Does it really work? And of course it really works. Of course I'm still doing this. Why would I not be doing this? This is the most wonderful company in the world, the most wonderful business in the world. Why would I not be doing this? So you'll find that it changes there because you don't worry what other people think of you. You are in charge of your own business, and you're in charge of your own life. And other people's opinions are not going to pay your bills, and they're not going to change your life to the life that you want. So on that note, when we're talking about confidence, and clearly you're going to find a common theme too. We all love John C. Maxwell. He's amazing. The Laws of Leadership book is phenomenal. And I have a quote from John C. Maxwell that when a leader lacks confidence, the followers lack commitment. Hello, huge. So if you're on your team page or you're talking to your team thread and all of a sudden you're saying, oh, gosh, guys, I don't know about this either. I don't know about this promotion. I don't know what we should do. No. That is not only going to give your team no confidence. They're going to say, you know what? I don't think Amanda's really committed to this business. I don't think she's passionate about this business. And then they're gone. That does your team no good. You have to be confident, and you have to show that commitment to your team. Positive thinking, I know, I think Amy said this, fake it till you make it. Positive thinking is crucial. And once you're with this company longer, you'll realize, and I say this to so many people, don't worry, Plexus will make it right. Plexus always makes it right. They're a good company. They listen to us. They listen to their customers. They always make it right. So if there's an issue and I don't know the answer right away, I just tell my team or my customer, don't worry, Plexus always makes it right. We're going to figure out the answer and we're going to get to the bottom of this. No problem. You don't have to have all the answers. As the CEO, kind of put yourself in a mindset of looking at a corporation and a CEO, or maybe where you work, look at your manager. Know what you can control and know what you can't control. What you can control is what you say and what you project onto people. So make sure that you're setting standards and you're setting guidelines. That's what you can control. So, for example, shipping. I know, and we're all going to talk about shipping because it's a hot topic right now. Shipping is something you cannot control. I'm not in Arizona. I'm not packaging product. I'm not taking orders. I can't control that. That's not my control. My control is how I tell a customer or how I tell an ambassador that we're going to fix the problem. So I can't tell you how many times someone has said, oh my gosh, I didn't realize my stuff wasn't shipping. What do? And I run over their house and take them a couple things of Slim and say, no worries, we're going to call corporate, we're going to get it taken care of, but here's 3 days to tide you over. And that's me sacrificing my own product to give it to them, but that shows how much I care about them. And it shows saying, look, I can't control that. I don't know why it's delayed, but I'm going to figure out what's going on. I'm going to take ownership of this because I'm the CEO of this business, and I'm going to figure out what's going on. I'm not going to pass it off. I'm not going to ask someone to help me. I'm taking ownership of my business. Excuse me, sorry. I have a little baby burp there. Another one is when people get pushback and they say, oh, well, the products didn't work for me. That is a bold lie. That is not true. That's not true. The products do work. They do work. Perhaps you are taking the wrong products for you. We actually have a friend that has a ridiculously debilitating disease. And I say we, the group of sorority sisters that are all on this team. So she has a debilitating disease. She's in a lot of pain. And we were talking about it and saying, well, has anyone reached out to her? And I believe it was Taryn. Sorry, Taryn, I'm going to call you out. She said, yeah, I reached out to her. And someone had sold Plexus to her before. And she said, yeah, Plexus didn't work for me. And Taryn did the right thing and said, well, what did you take? And she said she took Accelerator for her debilitating disease. No, that's not right. So what's she going to do? Get her on Triplex. That's what makes more sense for her. Or if someone takes Triplex and it doesn't work for them or they don't like the results, guess what? Get involved. Get involved in that conversation. Take ownership of that conversation and say, okay, that didn't work, but why didn't it work? Like, tell me how you're feeling and tell me how you want to feel or where we want to get with this. Maybe just a daily vitamin is all they need. Maybe X Factor and Mega X is what they need instead of Triplex. Our products, we have a wide range of products because it's not cookie cutter. We don't sell everyone the exact same thing. It works for different people, and the way you do that is by owning your business, taking responsibility for your business, and building those relationships with people. So that's about all I have to say about that, but I hope that wasn't too harsh. I try to do it with a smile, but I know it's all real tough love stuff. But y'all, you can do this. Be your own CEO. You can do this, and everyone is going to be on a different path, on a different timeline, but following the right steps, taking ownership of your business, we're all going to be diamond one day. Don't worry about it.
Yes, for sure. I love that. No, you can dish out tough love anytime. You're so, yeah, for sure. Thank you so much, Amanda. Up next, we're going to hear from Amber Perry. Are you ready, girl?
I'm ready.
Okay.
So for those of y'all that don't know, I'm Amber Perry, and I'm a senior Ruby ambassador as well. This weekend will also mark my 2 years on Plexus. And so what I am talking about today is activity. So part of being a leader is being active. And I'm going to reference a lot of the 21 laws. There's so many things in there that talks about activity. So one of the big things is what matters most is what you do day to day over the long haul, not just today and this week, but over the long haul. Your daily routine matters. Your team will take their lead from you. If you're not active, then they're not going to be active. So you have to be present. Another thing is, and we've talked about it, successful leaders are learners. We're soaking up information. We're learning from others. We're on the call. We're learning. We're doing everything that we can. So each day, your goal should be to be a little bit better than the day before and build on that prior day. How do you do this? You make sure you're doing your IPAs every day. You're doing, when you sign ambassadors, doing those 3-way calls, setting up those expectations for them, reading books, watching YouTube videos, going to events, whether it's convention or Super Saturday or opportunity meetings, it's getting there. Make a plan for yourself in your personal growth. Make it part of your daily method of operation. You know, I have been doing this for almost 2 years now. And seriously, there has not been a day that, and especially in the last year, once I hit goal, because I think it took me a little bit to learn this, but there hasn't been a day that I haven't been constantly looking for something to listen to and how to learn. And if there was a call, I was on it. If I couldn't be on it, I was listening to it the next day. So be there, be active. Your team sees that. Make a plan for your personal growth, and then invest in those that are following you. Their growth is your responsibility. And I think somebody else said that, but that, as a leader, that's your responsibility, is to grow your team and to help them personally grow. And one of the great things about this book that it talks about is like that you attract who you are. So what you're doing, they're like, show them what to do by what you're doing. They will follow you. Whatever you do, they'll follow you, but you've got to do it first. Sorry, I have my notes as well because I get nervous and, you know, I have to have them. So why do people do that? Because people do what people see. The better the leader's actions are, the better your people's actions are going to be. So when as a leader, when you're showing the way with the right action, your followers and your team are going to follow you and copy, and then they're going to have success as well when they're doing what you're doing. So kind of like I said before, make yourself responsible for helping your team take action by taking action yourself. I think it was Ashley that was talking a little bit about vision, but being a leader, you have dreams, and with those dreams, you have this vision, but a vision without the action, it's not going to achieve anything. You're not going to succeed if you don't take that action, and you're not going to get that vision or your dreams if you're not following the vision and following the action. So be that steward of that vision, live the vision, have it be you. Model the vision, and when you're modeling it, it comes alive. It becomes a part of you. So make sure you're leading by example. If you want your team to be active, then you have to, and I'm talking about if you want your team to be active in team pages, you need to be active in your team pages and your upline team pages. If you want them to be active in threads, you need to be active in the threads. If you want them to be active with posting, then you need to be posting. If you want them to be learning and getting your duplication and doing your 3-way calls, then you have to be doing them. You cannot expect them to do something that you are not doing yourself. It's not going to happen. You have to be that leader and do it yourself. Because people are not going to follow fuzzy leadership. They're just not. Your team is always watching you. Whether you think they are or not, they are always watching you. And followers may doubt what the leader says, but they're going to usually believe what their leader does. So I promise you that your team wants to see you as their leader in action. So start setting that example. Leaders are, this is one of my favorite points. Leaders are responsible for the performance of their people. It stops with you. There is no excuse, no matter what it is, it stops with you. And you have to be willing to take that on your shoulders. And as a leader, the first person that I have to lead is myself. I have to do it. And that is always going to be the hardest part, is getting up every single day and doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing. So to do that, establish that daily method of operation, establish your IPAs, plan them out. It will help, I promise. And I'm going to end on kind of some of my favorite part. Again, I guess the end was just my favorite total. But every single one of you, whether or not you have a customer or a team, you are a leader. This is in Plexus. This is in your outside life. It does not matter. Every single one of you have people looking up to you, and you are a leader. So you are always going to be leading people or someone somewhere. And it's your responsibility as to where you are leading them. One of my favorite things about leadership is it is saying, I think that there is something in you, and taking people there. So if things aren't going the way you want, then you need to get active. You need to start learning, and you need to start leading, because I promise you, momentum changes when you're active. So that's all I got.
Whoa. That was amazing. Yeah. Holy cow. I think that was really evident too. There was an IPA challenge that I took a part in, and that really changed things for me. And it really made me realize how important that daily activity is, and that consistency. So thank you very much, Amber. So I'm going to wrap up for us, and I'm going to introduce myself again, since I didn't at the beginning. My name's Hillary Heinrichs. I'm a Ruby ambassador, and I want to talk to you guys a little bit about being proactive in knowing that difficulty is ahead. Because even though none of us have a crystal ball, none of us could have seen October of last year and anticipated what that would bring, but we need to be aware and proactively preparing for potential issues that could come up, because it's only going to help you. Being taken off guard by difficulties that come up is going to make it harder to overcome things. So a huge part of that is mindset. Delays are going to happen. Issues, conflict in your team, attrition, all of those things are inevitable, even in the best companies. And I really think, without a shadow of a doubt, that we have the best company. So you have to decide ahead of time how you're going to handle that. Your thoughts impact your emotion, and that's going to impact your action and inevitably your business as well. So you have to choose to stay positive, and you have to choose to stay focused. You cannot allow issues to become distractions. So you have to decide, are you gonna let those things take you down? Are you gonna let them distract you? Are you gonna let them discourage you? And just because no, it's gonna happen. Also remember too that setbacks are temporary. I know it feels like the shipping issues have been kind of never ending since October, but they're temporary. They are getting things fixed. I have no doubt in my mind that things are going to keep getting better and better and better. Setbacks are temporary. So you have to decide to be a problem solver in the meantime, because quitting is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. You have to look for ways to get around the why and the what if. Just don't even engage in that. There's nothing that you can't overcome if you have the right mindset and you put action to it. You have an upline that's there to support you. You have sidelines there to support you. So it's really important that you build yourself a support system. This business is, we are all our own individual CEOs, but this is a team sport. I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't have the sidelines that I have met, and I certainly wouldn't be here without the team underneath me. This is a team sport. So you have to invest in other people as well. Build yourself a support system. And that can be people that have no impact on your individual business, your bottom line, your PV, nothing. They don't have to do that. Just finding sidelines that can breathe life into you can play a huge role in that. So as a leader too, Like Amber said, and some of the other ladies said, as soon as you have a customer or one ambassador under you, you are considered a leader, and your mindset can affect your team. So your team's going to be watching you. Are they watching you rise above difficulty? Are they watching you get discouraged? Are they watching it take you down? Do they see you seeking out solutions? Do they see you as a problem solver? Do they see you as somebody that has the mental fortitude that Ashley was talking about? Because honestly, your attitude is as duplicatable as your actions, and you have to remember that. You cannot, you don't have to deny or minimize the fact that there are issues, because let's be honest, there are issues. Okay, let's not, and minimizing it doesn't make it go away, but you have to still remain positive, and you have to acknowledge it and then get to the task of overcoming it. I love, love, love this quote from John Maxwell, the same guy we've referenced the entire call. It says, the leader's attitude is like a thermostat for the place she works. If her attitude is good, the atmosphere is pleasant and the environment is easy to work in. But if her attitude is bad, the temperature is insufferable. And I know if you've ever held a job and worked for a boss that had a bad attitude or was difficult, it can make it miserable. And granted, our downline doesn't work for us. They work for themselves. But having an upline that breeds belief and positivity and solutions into their team is going to breed an environment of empowered problem solvers. And that's what you want for your team. So your team's going to pick up on your belief. They're going to pick up on your commitment and your conviction. And so they're going to watch you handle difficulties, and that's going to affect their view of how they can overcome difficulty as well. So you need to look at, how are you responding to things? I love this quote, and I don't know who told it to me, but it said, when you're down, go up, meaning go to your upline. And when you're up, go down. You need to be feeding into your downline. You never want, when you're feeling down and you're discouraged, you never want to bring that to your downline. You need to always be proactively building belief in them. It all starts with you, like Amber said. So what are some practical tips for this? Let's look at some of our current situations. Objections, we all get them. Rejection, we've all had that. Knowing ahead of time what common objections are and practicing your response to them is going to help you be proactive and ready when that comes. That can start from day one. When you reach out to your upline and say, okay, I have somebody that's ready, but I think that this is going to be an issue with them. Or, well, let's be honest, you probably had objections before you signed up too. I think we all did. And so knowing what those are ahead of time and being prepared can help you. Knowing about rejection, knowing that rejection is coming, and knowing that no isn't personal. I love the analogy about the waitress that goes to serve coffee at the table. She comes and pours coffee, and she asks you if you want some, and you say no. She doesn't go cry in a corner. She goes to the next person and asks them. And heck, she even comes back 10 minutes later to see if you want to refill again. It's not personal. It just means not now. And that goes back to follow-up, which we're going to talk about in another call sometime. But no isn't personal. So learning how to respond to common objections and knowing ahead of time that you're going to face rejection and building mental fortitude is going to be huge. It goes back to mindset. You need to also get good at asking questions and learn to get ahead of objections. So that's something you can work with your upline on as well. Getting ahead of objections, addressing them before someone even has the opportunity to bring them up is going to be really valuable for you and your business. And it builds confidence. Attrition. None of us like it, but it's a reality of our business. I think the statistic is that at any one time, 30% of people are coming in and 30% of people are coming out. None of us like white lines, but it's going to happen. You're going to sign up people that don't have the same level of commitment as you. They don't have the same level of belief as you. And while it is our duty to breathe belief into them and communicate with them and follow up with them, sometimes you have people that are just going to leave. Know that's going to happen ahead of time and do not allow that to take you down. Okay? There are so many people who need our products and our opportunity just find somebody else. Also, knowing that, people are going to come and people are going to go, it's really, really important that you utilize those three-way calls. I think utilizing those three-way calls is really going to help with that attrition, because they're going to know from day one they have a support team, and it's going to build belief and investment in the company and what they're doing from the very, very beginning. So that's hugely important. Being proactive and getting involved in three-way calls with your upline is huge. Shipping delays. There was no way we could predict this was going to happen. But what you can do is, if you know there's an issue, we have this amazing thing called the back office, and we have reports. And there are dates in there. There are dates. So you can put aside a little bit of time, maybe once a week or maybe twice a week, go in your back office and make a list. Whose backup order is set to ship this week? And then go back through, and at the end of the week, check and see, did it ship? Is it stuck in entered status? What do you need to do? How can you help this person? Because you do not want 2 weeks to go by when they should have had their products and they didn't get them. We have to stay in control of those things. You can take steps to be proactive, and it takes a little bit of planning and it takes a little bit of organization, but you can do it. And it's going to help with customer satisfaction. It's going to help with attrition. And honestly, it's going to help with your mental sanity, because you're going to be on top of things. So that's really hugely important for your business too. The same with credit card issues. Things that get stuck in entered status. We want to get those things taken care of right away. People want their products, and it's our responsibility to help them get there. Now, the thing is, if you have, if you're someone like Amy and she has 10,000 people on her team, then that's too many people for one person to look at every day. That's a huge report. So you need to start, as your team grows, like the other ladies have talked about, empower your leaders to look out and train their leaders to individually look at their reports, and that way everybody's covered. We don't want to let anybody go without their products. We don't want anybody to have a bad experience. We are in the business of customer satisfaction and customer service. We have to remember that from the beginning. That's priority number one. Okay, you're also going to have naysayers. You're going to have people that say you're crazy. This is a scam. You have to be ready for that, and just got to know that you're not in it for them. You're in it for you and your family. I will say that those people, those issues, it's not about you. It's about them. So if you can just, like I said, build the mindset and the mental fortitude, knowing that you are going to not allow those things to take you down. You're going to expect the things that are coming. You're going to take proactive steps to set yourself up for success and being on top of things. That's going to make a huge difference in your business. So to kind of wrap things up, network marketing is the best industry, and Plexus is the best network marketing company. I believe that with every fiber of my body. It not only provides the maximum opportunity for earning, but for growth, for personal growth and professional growth. It's so fun and it's so exciting, but it's hard. So you have to learn how to overcome these difficulties. And these ladies have given incredible tips on how to do that. It has to be commitment, determination, building belief. You have to be proactive, empower your team, staying consistent in your activity, focusing on what you can control, and then doing all that you can to set yourself up for success. That's not only going to allow you to reach your goals, but it's going to help you have an amazingly rewarding journey along the way. So thank you so much to everybody that joined us tonight. Thank you, ladies, very much for all your valuable information and input. I'm so grateful, and I learned a ton. Thank you so much. Oh, is there one more thing? No? We good? Okay. Thank you, guys. See you later.